on what's going on. There may be questions he could answer, may not be. And I believe we have Simon Sequeira with,
Cicada.
how is that?
Cicada.
Cicada. I knew I'd get it wrong, but I was gonna try anyway. He's with Quad Vest, which is a major water producer here in the area. So anyways, so that's what this is all about. We only have an hour. Hopefully more cities will do this, maybe larger forums. There's plenty of elected officials here to listen. They're not all here to answer direct questions in regards to the Lone Star Groundwater Board and the San Jacinto River Authority. Part of our situation here is we joined a coalition where San Jack would basically overconvert Conroe and or the Woodlands on surface water, which would allow us to continue to pump just like we have been. We have now been asked to reduce that pumpage by 30% or so. With the growth we're seeing, that's not something we can do. We wouldn't be able to handle the probably our development projected out 5 years would probably exceed what they want us to back our pumpage down to. So that's why this is a concern for us. We want to be able to provide the people in the area the services they need. And we're a very small player in this, but hopefully if we all get together, we will be able to get this to work in our favor. I'd like to invite Mayor Melder up if I could speak on this a little bit.
Mayor, thank you for the town hall meeting. Appreciate the opportunity to address everyone here. As your mayor said, there is pending litigation and cannot get into the details of that litigation. The litigation is public information, so if you want to do that, take it upon yourself to do that. Obviously, the city of Conroe, city council, by the way, I don't even have a vote, so it wasn't just me. I seem to catch most of the bullets in the back, the errors in the back, but that's okay, it covers this territory. But it was a council decision to move forward on it. There's some other gentlemen here tonight, Simon Cicada, one of your water providers in the area, as well as water attorney, Marty Jones. And I don't want to take up too much time there. If you have a specific question that, due to my position, I can't answer, or maybe he can. It's been an ongoing discussion for several years, and we've just reached the point of where we are. We fully expect from people that have called other cities to intervene and join us in the process. Anybody have any questions?
Can y'all speak louder?
Is the mic working?
I don't think the mic is on.
Well, speak louder. We couldn't even hear the other guy.
I appreciate, I
I like
work in your name
I do
too.
too. But, you know, so
Yeah.
louder. Well,
Is that any better? Huh?
I'm hearing it out of these speakers.
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Well, let me say this is not my meeting, so I don't know the order that hands will go up. I don't know who's gonna call on who. I would turn this over either to the mayor or the city administrator to call on.
All right.
It's
just a general question.
I'll field questions for you if you heard. Pull them out of the audience. if
Okay,
you'd like.
that's fine.
Yes, sir.
It's just a general question. Are we talking about only the city water system that the city provides the pipes and the pumps and whatever? I live, let's say, down by Lake Windcrest, but I'm still considered.
If you're within the district of the Lone Star Groundwater Conservation District, you can and most likely will be affected by any decisions they make.
Okay, even if I'm on a well, I'm not on any kind of, okay. No, I don't use their tankage, their pipes, anything.
They are not a water provider. They're a conservation district. I believe the members are appointed, some by commissioners court, some elected by the users. The city of Magnolia has a vote and someone that represents small cities. And what that board is tasked with is ensuring water in Montgomery County for the future. Is this kind of what they're tasked with?
You've got a general manager sitting over here that might want to answer.
In other words, even if I'm on my own well, my own pump, and I'm not in the city, I'm still gonna be involved in whatever you're fixing to charge.
No, this has nothing to do with any charge.
Okay, y'all gonna meter it, or?
We will, the city of Magnolia will not be. I can't answer as whether or not Lone Star will meter your private well in the future or not.
No way.
It's not exempt to meter domestic wells. Your well is exempt from regulation.
I'm sorry?
Your well is exempt from regulation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Today.
That is state law.
Very good, thank you.
Somebody else?
Could she stand up?
Could you identify yourself, please?
Yeah.
My name is Kathy Jones. I am the general manager for the Lone Star Groundwater Conservation District. The gentleman's question is his well as a private well on his property serving only your home as a residence, subject to rules and regulations of the district? The only requirement that the district imposes on a well owner of this type is to register that well. Any permitting, water use fees, metering is exempt under statute, and the district does not have any rules or regulation requiring you to reduce your groundwater consumption of your well, and statute will not prohibit such regulation of domestic wells, including livestock, etc. So that well is exempt. We cannot regulate it. It's not the intent of the board to regulate it, and statute protects you from its regulation.
Why are you gonna register it then?
Yeah, why register? I can't see
Why are you registering this?
Would the depth of the well and the aquifer be important?
Could she
Well,
come to
again,
the
this is not my meeting. I'm here to be public, but I will answer that really quickly. The reason to register these is the district needs to know where this water is being produced in the county. It's a straw in the aquifer drawing water. When you look at the overall water use, you need to know what your exempt use is.
Okay. But this is just information that you're getting.
Yes, sir.
I'm not under the jurisdiction of anyone that's involved.
Yes, sir.
It's my understanding with the Texas law that the aquifer, if we have an aquifer running here through here, is that what we have?
There's more than one.
There's more than one?
Yes, sir.
Because that water could be regulated by them. And, but if it's percolating water, they can't necessarily.
Again, you know,
Right? Is that correct, ma'am?
I can't answer all those questions directly.
She won't answer.
The city of Magnolia invited our representative that sits on the Lone Star board, and for whatever reason, he was unable to attend tonight. Our intent was to have him to be able to answer some of the more specific questions directed towards the board and what they
She knows the
regulate.
answers.
I have no problem
She knows
with
the
her
answers.
answering these questions. She chooses. I just don't want to, apparently her intentions weren't here tonight to field all
She
the
clearly wanted
questions.
to answer, she was answering.
Okay, I just don't want you to
I
feel,
would like to meet him. Continue on, and the gentleman would like to visit with me afterwards.
again, she'll speak to, but I don't mind in this forum if you answer the questions. I have no problem with that. What we're here to do is get answers into.
Because what all this discussion has to do with what they're doing over at the water district, right? I mean, that's what we're
Well, it's a
here for.
combination of that
Yeah.
and.
But they're the ones that are gonna control the water.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be very sticky.
And then it's gonna fall down to y'all to enforce it.
Under my property, there are two aquifers. So if we have one authority over an aquifer, but not the other one, they don't even know which aquifer I'm drawing water out of.
Correct, and again, those are questions that would be directed towards them, and as she stated, they have no plans of regulation on private wells.
Thanks for the information.
I would like to point out, that 5 years ago, they had no plans to regulate the city of Magnolia either.
I'd say that's probably correct. Yes,
Where do we stand on this, the state requirement
convert to surface water by 2030 or whenever it was.
Can you speak on that? You probably know a little more what's in center.
Where do we stand on
My recollection is some years ago, the state passed, passed a law, some goal, however you want to call it, to convert to basically surface water.
I believe it's when we joined the group with San Jacinto River Authority,
Right.
was to meet our conversion requirements, even though we would never drink the lake water is whatever we.
But where do we
explained
stand
it.
on that? I mean, we're just like, that's never going to happen in Magnolia.
What phase, I think.
Mayor Melder, are you guys
Well, I
being supplied?
want to make sure that I understand your, well, first of all, it wasn't the state, it was.
Use a microphone or something, if we can't get in, we can't hear.
Okay. Let's see. This thing working? It wasn't the state. The state created the Longstone Groundwater Conservation District. Okay? And it was the district who has developed where we are today. It's all public knowledge. I'm not going to get too far down into the details there. But anybody who would like to be educated or learn more about it, I think the worst thing that's going on is rumors left, rumors right, rumors front and back. And there's a lot of good, honest information out there. It takes a little time and effort to educate ourselves. And I think the best thing that all of us can do is get educated on the subject. And there's too much of this going around. Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask a question to clear up some things, because I think a lot of people have misunderstandings. So the water transfer system for the surface water that recently came down 2978, where does that water end up? Where does it go and who does it service? And also, people are saying out there that all of these extra fees that we're being charged, or people are being charged, we're not, but being charged are to pay for that infrastructure to take that water to that destination.
I'd say you're pretty spot on, match there.
Where does the water end up? Who uses that water?
Well, if you're talking about going down 2978, my best guess would be the Woodlands. And again, that's public information. There's a pipeline map, shows you where it starts, where it ends up. All of it's public.
I mean, I'll explain the way the city, with the San Jacinto River Authority situation there. What happened is basically the state tells major water users they need to, by a certain time period, convert to surface water, or a certain percentage of surface water. Well, the city of Magnolia obviously we don't have Lake Magnolia. We can't, put the bonds of a pipeline all the way to Lake Conroe on the backs of 2,000 people. So that's when the San Jacinto River Authority put together the coalition, brought in multiple cities, water users, and basically as a group, we meet our conversion requirement based on the amount of water that they are supplying to the Woodlands and or Conroe. So our water users pay a per 1,000 gallon pumpage fee on their water bill that in turn funded those pipes to get that, to make that occur. So while we pay the fee, we don't drink that water, but economically it was still more feasible than trying to convert the town of 2,000 people, convert 30% to surface water or whatever the requirement was. So, so that's how that came about. And that's where you'll hear the stories where we're paying for the water but we'll never drink it. While that is the case, it was required to meet the regulations that were passed down from the state level.
So does the Woodlands pay more, or do they pay the same portion of the amount?
I think they may pay a little, the people that actually drink the water pay a little more, I'm not sure. Do you know that?
That I don't know.
That's why I think that's.
I had heard that they do. We're not actually drinking the water, so I can't speak on that directly. I believe it's the same or slightly higher.
I can speak from this tax standpoint. I lived in the Woodlands for 9 years, and that's why I moved from there. I didn't want to pay those taxes. So I moved out here, and then to her question, we're paying for the Woodlands water. I love people in the Woodlands.
Well,
I love having friends there,
but,
they don't pay their taxes, so why
the
should they
theory
pay water?
was $2.25, $2.30 per 1,000 gallons pumped, even though you never drink it, is still cheaper than if the city of Magnolia sold enough bonds to dig a lake and a treatment plant for our 2,000 people. So I refer to it commonly as protection money, and I get in trouble for being blunt and honest sometimes, but that's kind of what it is.
I think I can answer that question. I live in the Woodlands, and what the people in Magnolia are paying is a $2.32 pumpage fee. And if you acquire the surface water, then you're going to be paying $2.51. And so it's a blended cost in the Woodlands for the amount of money, for the amount of water that we drink. If it's 70% surface water, it's going to be 70% of the $2.51. And if we drink the groundwater, we're going to be paying the $2.32 pumpage fee. So it's a blended cost for residents of the Woodlands. That's as clear as mud, I can see.
It's my understanding we may have someone here with the St. Jacinto River Authority. Are they willing to raise their hand?
They're trying to get in a door.
Okay, I see a hand in the back. Make a poll.
I saved a spot for you. Yep.
And again, while your plans and intentions may not have been to participate or answer questions, you are welcome to whatever level you feel comfortable. We have security in the parking lot.
Yeah, we would have been more than happy to been invited, we just weren't. So thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Rhonda Troe, I'm the Public Relations Manager for the River Authority, and Jace Houston, our General Manager, is actually en route. So, hello.
Well, this is more as an informative meeting. It's hard to anticipate every question that'll arise. It probably is more towards the Lone Star more than St. Jacinto River Authority. But our water issues and concerns seem kind of blend the two together at this point. So that's why questions about you guys arise as well. And everybody always wants to know why they're paying for water they're never going to drink.
Right. You're not paying
I
for
have
water.
wrapped my mind around it.
I heard
But
you
it's hard
explaining
to
it, and you were
explain.
doing a very good job. So the city of Magnolia isn't necessarily paying for water, but you're paying for compliance. So because you are part of the GRP, then Magnolia is complying with the mandate that will start.
What is a GRP?
I'm sorry, sir?
What's a GRP?
It's groundwater reduction program. And the St. Jacinto River Authority actually just is one of many GRPs within the county. So we're just trying to comply with the regulations as well. Yeah.
We can't hear you.
We moved out, Jeannie and Betty Linders, Magnolia. We're homeowners. We have a water well.
I don't know.
47 years.
I don't know what he's
In
doing.
any case, this young man, gentleman over here, and a lot of people in here have water wells at their home, and that's one of the major concerns. We pretty much spent the money for a water well because we didn't want to pay the high dollar price for Magnolia water. So, how is that going to be handled? We're being asked to register our wells. Why?
Yeah.
Now that question
That's outside of you.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's outside of me, because as far as your groundwater being regulated, that's
You're
something-
regulated by the St. Jacinto River Authority, but the Lone Star Groundwater Conservation District does have some oversight. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe what she stated is they're wanting to find out the amount of water that's being removed. That's why they're asking questions about private wells, although they have no intention of ever regulating your use.
Yeah. Woo, we believe that.
Yeah, when elephants fly.
Protection to you as a landowner to ensure that your water right is protected. So,
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I also own a well. And I'm a little confused as to why you would even need to ask about the information on the well, because when you have a well dug, you have a permit process. That permit process tells how deep the well was. So why the information has to be retrieved again, I do not understand. Now, I also understand in 1949, conservation districts were legislated by the state with limited power. Now, we know our federal government and our state government is right behind us in getting power away from the people and centralizing it in the county. And you tell us that our water is ours, but my question is this: will you change it, or does it have to go to the state legislature if it's decided that the well is no longer ours? Groundwater has been ours. It's been English law, Texas law. I have paid over $6,000 to dig that well. It's my well. It's my equipment.
We don't change state law. That is your elected officials in Austin.
But there's other ways of.
But you can regulate.
And if I could answer her question on the well restoration versus the permitting, ma'am, if you are permitting a well, we do capture a well restoration within that process. As an exempt homeowner, you do not permit your well. You only restore it.
Well, it was
you are a commercial
permitted
industrial.
when it was dug.
So, were you permitted as an individual?
The well was.
The well company did the permit process.
Well, you might need to check back with them what they sold you, because if you are a single family residence, we did not permit you.
Then you don't know about us, is that correct?
If it's if all wells in the county, since 2002, it is law that any well driller drilling must have either a well restoration or permit preceding the drilling of that well. So the driller typically handles that process with the district.
Yeah. And,
I need Mr. Simon here to speak, because he's got some, what I believe, pertinent information as it applies to cities and such, and then we'll get back to the meeting with the Lone Star Board.
Thank you, Mayor. I always start off by saying we don't have a water problem in Montgomery County. That's the good news. The bad news is we have a problem with the government of the water.
Yes.
You know, it's very frustrating for me. It's very frustrating for customers. Customers are mad at water companies. Water companies are forced to do things that they don't want to do because our private property rights have been taken.
Yes.
That's undeniable. I've asked Marty Jones to come here, and I'll ask him to come up here in a minute and answer some questions. But Marty is one of the foremost water law experts in the state. He's asked to talk on panels and talk about private property rights issues and how they relate to our groundwater. So he'll answer a lot of these questions. But let me just say, from a big picture standpoint, how we got here. I want to quickly kind of give you the Reader's Digest version of how we got here. 2001, the state legislature created Lone Star, and we voted it in. People of Montgomery County voted it in. And I have to admit that I was a supporter of Lone Star early on. I believed that we needed to protect our groundwater from the city of Houston maybe coming and taking it from us. And the way it was sold to me was this was to preserve our aquifers. And I believed it. And that has changed over the last 15 years to, well, we have a water problem. We have today, underneath Montgomery County, 180 million acre feet of water. Okay? All of the surface water lakes in Texas combined have 38 million acre feet of water. We do not have a water problem in Montgomery County. We have a problem with the government of the water. Lone Star did studies. We disagree with the studies that say you can only take 64,000 acre-feet of water per year out of the aquifer, okay? Well, we were pumping around that when they came up with this plan. So the plan was, all of the large volume groundwater used in Montgomery County had to convert 30% of their groundwater pumpage, 2009 groundwater pumpage, to surface water. Or you pay a $10,000 a day fine. So all of us, all of the large volume groundwater users were forced to come up with this groundwater reduction plan. What was the city of Magnolia going to do? Lake Magnolia? No. Lake Quadras? We didn't have a choice. We were forced to join a groundwater reduction plan, and for most of us, the only plan was the St. Jacinto River Authority. So what that means is, it's a kind of a coalition of utilities where only one group is going to receive water, okay? The Woodlands or the city of Conroe, but we're all going to pay for it. My customers and I have paid the River Authority and the Conservation District over $7 million today, and we have not received one drop of water. It's terrible. If we had a water problem, it's the best plan available, but we don't have a water problem. I think Marty can answer some of these private property rights issues, how groundwater is private property. That's exactly right. Groundwater is private property. It cannot be taken from you. That's what the district has done. The district's rules and regulations have taken our private property. Here, Marty, you want to talk a little bit about that?
What a great setup. This nice lady back here is exactly right. Texas Supreme Court has confirmed that landowners own the groundwater beneath the property, just like you'd own oil and gas beneath your property, and it's subject to obviously reasonable regulation by the state. But you know, I just use the word reasonable in connection with that sentence, and so that's I think the rub. I think Kathy Jones would agree with me that there is no statewide mandate to reduce the use of groundwater by 30%. I believe that is in fact just a Lone Star requirement. I believe that's kind of the genesis of some of the problems that we have here. The requirement to reduce by 30% included, of course, a requirement to find alternative water supplies or figure out a way to use 30% less. From my understanding, this is a growing area, and using 30% less wasn't really the option. So obviously St. Jacinto River Authority offered an option, which in connection with a $500 million bond election said, we'll form this group and we'll provide the water, or in essence, water credit to other folks. For example, City of Magnolia, by joining, would not have to take the lake water, but obviously has to pay a fee, pumpage fee, in order to find itself in compliance with the Lone Star regulation. That said, I represent Simon in connection with the lawsuit that's been filed. I'm not going to discuss that lawsuit at all, but if any of you have any questions about private property rights, about how they might be impacted in this county, about what's going on, I'd be happy to try to answer. Yes, sir.
Didn't the EPA try to take wetlands that weren't even attached to rivers with major copper limits last this week?
Yeah, and of course, the EPA issue is a different issue than what we're discussing here specifically, but generally you're right. It's kind of the same question.
Because they're claiming that water runs down, so therefore it is future water.
Right. And, I'll tell you this, just as an aside. I got into the water business maybe 15 years ago, representing Boone Pickens in connection with groundwater pipes in the Panhandle where I'm from. And he recently heard from the EPA because he, at his ranch, has a house, if you want to call it a house. And at that house, he has some groundwater wells that are producing water into a series of ponds, 3 ponds. And it's kind of a waterfall between them, and it's really cool. It gets down to the 3rd pond, and he pumps it. Actually, it was flowing into a creek. The EPA contacted him because it was flowing into a creek. Well, it was groundwater, it's his groundwater, it's his lake, and it's his creek, really, mostly. And so they were essentially saying to him, you can't do that. Well, being with Pickens, he put in a pump system that took the water from the 3rd pond back to the 1st pond to recycle it so it didn't get into the creek. But those are extraordinary ways to solve the problem, and I would not think we'd have to do that with groundwater in this area. Yes, ma'am?
I don't know a lot about the law, but I think I saw that the Texas Water Code does allow regulations of groundwater. There are specific remedies or ways that they must do that, but they can limit how much you can draw out. They can limit, and they can base it on a number of different things. Is that correct?
You've been reading, haven't you? Texas Water Code says that you can regulate groundwater, you can regulate it in certain ways. Well spacing, you can limit the production amount per acre or other unit. Those sorts of regulations are provided for in the water code, that's correct.
And would that have to be, in order to start controlling, if you will, personal private wells, would that have to be legislated through the legislature, or is that something that Lone Star would be permitted to do?
And let me help you about private wells, and let's just talk about the wells that you might have at your residence, serving your house. Kathy's exactly right. State law protects those wells. They're exempt from regulation. A domestic well is defined as one which can produce no more than 17.5 gallons per minute. And if you project that out over a year, you're looking at just over 9.1 million gallons per year that a domestic well can produce. And so I guess I would caution you to be careful that your domestic wells are not producing more than 9.1 million gallons. I don't think anybody here would actually do that unless you're feeding a pond. But if it gets, as I recall, the Lone Star regulations, they're limiting users to 10 million gallons without regard to the tract size. So if you get to that level, there's somewhere between those two numbers, I think that regulation could kick in. Ma'am?
So I don't have a private well, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
So this lawsuit you're talking about filing, would it benefit, I mean, I know you can probably give a lot of detail, would it benefit people who do not have a well at all? Or is this?
Are you paying fees for water?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's on my quad-based bill, don't even get me started. Because
Okay.
I compared bills from last year, the conservation fees got up 19%, and the quad-based bill's gone up 15% in the last year.
So you have a private well, but you're getting...
No, I do not have a private.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want one, but I don't have 3/4 of an acre.
Well, you remember the old Western drilling commercial? If you don't have a well, get one?
But I understand in Montgomery County, you can't unless you're under, if you're under an acre.
Okay.
So I'm 3/4.
It's an acre.
Acre and a half?
Oh, an acre and a half. Okay.
Is that true? Is that the exact? Is that an acre and a half?
It's an acre and a half if there's on-site septic. An acre without, and that's a county.
It's Montgomery County Environmental.
Right.
Yeah, I know, sir.
That's not a Lone Star regulation.
So would that benefit me as a homeowner under, where I'm using the quad-based system to get water?
I would think that anything that lowers the amount that Quadvest is paying would lower the amount you're paying.
Okay. That's
And Simon can answer this better than I can, but while this looks like a pass-through to him as fees increase and such, it turns out that pass-through lags by some period of time, and when he's out that money, it lags, costing him.
Yeah, I just don't know why we ain't getting double dip. I mean, it's between the water company and the San Jacinto thing, it's crazy. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
I live in a neighborhood that has a neighborhood well, Thousand Oaks neighborhood down 1488, and our water bills are doubled because of the Sand Jack fee. Because our water bill is, this last month, 500, and our Sanjak bill was 500. So I have an $1,100 water bill.
And that's not uncommon in our neighborhood.
Our neighborhood, we have a whole lot of people here from our neighborhood. I don't know what is going on. We have a it's not Quad Best, it's T&W. Are we within our rights to take that neighborhood well away from our entity that bills us, even though it's not a private well, and say we want to regulate and pay for our own fee? Because we're not getting anything from San Jacinto River. We get no water from them. We get it.
I'd have to know a lot more before I ventured into
We
saying
wanna
I'm
ask
taking
a lot
away
of
from
questions
it.
because
How many people are from your neighborhood here?
how many from Thousand Oaks? We've got a bunch. See, we have a neighborhood well. We put it in.
Yeah, we can't put a well in.
$1,100 is that?
Mine was 11, but there were some, they all doubled.
They all doubled and tripled this last night. And we're getting nothing.
That's why we're wondering if the Woodlands is getting these bills.
I have a simple question. So what are our options? We know what the facts are on the table. What are our options?
I think it's an action item. I talked to my county judge about these issues. I talked to my...
Where's he at? There he is. There he is.
I talked to Commissioner's Court about it. I'd ask them for what they've done in terms of putting representations on the line. For example,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Sound like you like the way you keep your well.
Is that a political statement?
A couple of things. I mean, what it sounds like we're doing here is the same thing as a cap and trade or a carbon offset. We're paying someone else, and then we're not to use our water. And the second thing is you say that we have rights to our well, and there's nothing they can do. But isn't there ways that they can come and condemn your well and put you on the city water? Doesn't that happen in the city of Houston pretty regularly, with well collection lines?
I'm not familiar with it.
You don't know anything about condemning wells?